see you. I'm in a bit of a situation here. Locked in. And I'm not alone. What should we do? How do we get out of this room? This may come in handy.
A broken collar. The precal who wore it was also broken by Mireille, and that was before the Prizrak got their claws into him.
Welcome to my domain. Lure Prizrak away from the trolls. Slide Prizrak through walls. Come back anytime.
Come on back. You have to know. This goes way beyond you.
Color malfunction shows Librarian down.
Stay here. I'm coming back for you.
Hello. It's Cooper. Good job getting the girl out of immediate danger. You seem to have a solid handle on things. With the arrival approaching, we're being watched more closely than ever, and so I have to pretend to work. However, I'm installing a help desk in your OmniView display. Select the help desk icon if you need my expertise along the way. Good luck tonight. No doubt, the girl would be doomed without you.
Signor Octavo joins Metamorphosis. Librarian is now preeminent manifesto scholar. I met the librarian this morning. He's a sweet man, with his heart sewn directly onto his adorable little lapel. And I do so admire his passion for literature. In a former life, I would swoon over a well-read man. But I hope for his sake, he learns to bury that part of himself. In here, following your passion is the shortest road to recalibration.
Y390H. I see you're admiring our latest installation.
Why do you keep these books away from us? I can handle them.
Maybe you're right. However, there are others in your class who are not as strong as you. And books like those can make them sick. Would it be fair to let you read them, but keep them from your friends?
That doesn't sound fair.
Well then, so are you saying you would prefer that they read them too? Will you have their illness on your conscience?
I don't want that either.
Of course not. I am not a filter for your ideas, child. I am your shield. There is so much ugliness in this world. Let me stand in the way of it. Let me stare it down. Your eyes are too pretty to witness such things.
I appreciate the compliment, Headmaster.
390H. You must hurry along now. The rest of your class is already inside.
Why does he hold those books away from us, Senor Octavo?
It is the headmaster's belief that those books sully the minds of pre-cals and should therefore be removed from our curriculum.
But that isn't what you believe, is it?
Books like these do not paint a rosy picture of the world, but they are not meant to. They are not paintings of the world we want. They are mirrors, reflecting the world we have.
I completely agree with Steven that we're trying to make a tool to help people make our game more accessible, essentially. And going back to the legend, it wouldn't just be for items in map view necessarily. It would also include symbols we use throughout the game that have confused our players. For instance, the beast, skull and crossbones symbol, which people have found confusing.
A lot of explanation or tutorialization.
Exactly. And that's kind of what we're hoping to achieve here. It's supposed to provide information to our players.
Yes.
And the less information we provide to our players, I feel we're just shooting ourselves in the foot.
Is map mode more of just like an aid, or do we want the player to be able to like interact in like meaningful ways, like maybe set up like a distraction or something like that in map mode, or like?
Yeah, I think it's just an aid to playing.
Okay.
I think it could definitely be. If we use it correctly, we could turn it into an aid, in my opinion. Like, if there's a situation.
Over the course of multiple episodes. Or something.
Exactly. I think what you'll find out is like there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to touch map mode because they're kind of like us. Like they just get the game, they understand it, and it's not a necessity. But there may be that one or two times where like, don't I have a map mode? And then they open it up like, oh, well, I might want to use this more often now because they realize it's a useful tool.
Thanks for getting me out of there. I don't know what that Prisrak's intentions were. But I'm glad we didn't stick around to find out. I'll be taking this.
You're about to send the girl back through the part of the facility she just escaped from. There may be something for you back here, but I doubt there is anything of use to her.
The library. It feels so quiet after hours. It used to be filled with books. The librarian's glasses. His office is up there, 3rd floor. We should go to him now.
Reporting.
It's yours. It's mine.
Have a quiet night.
idea. We can recharge here. I found some pepper spray. They won't find me in here.
Be careful. The Prizrak in this part of the facility are unpredictable in their rounds. You never know where they might turn up.
Welcome back. Sorry to see you go.
Make a wish. But don't tell me what it is, or it won't come true.
I wish the headmaster was dead.
Weep. Don't talk like that.
Zager said that someday the truth will rain down on this place and wash away all of the headmaster's lies.
I've never seen the rain before.
Zager wasn't talking about the rain. He was talking about the truth.
I don't care about the truth. I just want to know what rain feels like. Good idea. My battery was running low.
No sign of the breakdown.
Good idea. My battery was getting low. I should be safe here.
Huh? What's that?
The librarian's portrait has been taken down. I hope this is only a symbolic gesture.
It's the right thing to do. Librarian OK's decision to protect pre-cals from literary rot.
Quiet. Check in. Clear. Situation is clear. Clear. Nothing going.
Good idea. My battery was running
No
low.
sign of the pre-cal. Reporting.
Let's see what he's carrying. Got it.
Nothing to report.
Zager's silence deafening. The notorious terrorist is quiet, scheming. The arrival is just weeks away, and public enemy number 1 has gone radio silent. If the headmaster, or overseer, or whatever name he goes by these days, plans to take a bow on the world stage, he can't have a phantom hiding in the wings ready to sabotage his big production. I shouldn't complain. It's going to be one hell of a show.
No sign of the girl. Clear.
Are you there?
Clear track checking. Reporting.
I'll hold on to this.
Sounds good.
The first draft rumbled from my mind and shook the page like a 9.0 earthquake. The pen was merely the needle on the seismograph, recording the shockwaves.
To get into the headmaster's office upstairs, we will need his PIN code. I don't have it in my files, but we can recover it. We'll need to answer some security questions first.
Threat level.
I'll check his pockets. I got something.
Threat level normal. Proceed with caution.
Clear.
Rizrak, checking in.
Good thinking. This hiding place looks good. I hope they can't see me here.
Nothing. What have you got?
Let's see what he's got on him.
Reporting. No sign of the girl. Place is quiet.
It's a good place.
Get that threat level up.
Let me go! I think he's had enough. This spot looks good.
It seems this door requires Omni Level 2. You can upgrade your OmniView software at a demon server. I'm detecting a demon server near the Overseer's office. The nearest approach is from the museum.
I hope they can't see me here. I hope they can't see me here.
Threat level is returning to normal.
I'll take this.
Clear.
Thanks. You found me a good spot.
once you enter Cocoon, essentially the player starts off being enticed by wanting to get up to the Librarian because something could have happened, right? And the player can go up to the Librarians, or he can go up to the Overseers. So what I would propose instead is, this is for a little bit of a narrative reason, but also mostly for a pacing reason. I would say let's actually cut out player choice of this level and the openness aspect. I was very much a big supporter and liker of the player kind of having like space to explore and go and feel. But I partly don't think we actually support that well enough, like in terms of like what our game is and sort of what you get by going and having options to go into areas that you can't like, really solve. You know, you're just really going and messing around in an area that you can't do anything with, or it's out of order. So I think the Librarian being injured is actually probably like the biggest thing that the player wants to, you know, that's like the pull of this whole level. And so to me, it always felt like really awful to just go and immediately solve that, and that the pull of the level is a key. And I know that the key lets you out, but in a way, in the last episode, we just had the getting you out, letting you out thing, right? And that was episode 1.
So what we do is we start up episode 2 with Hope saying, okay, now we can see the Librarian, right? And I actually am kind of siding with what Brennan is saying here in terms of that could be the better payoff of episode 2, because we do. But to channel Brendan Murphy, what he says is that, you know, her whole point is to get to the Librarian, and I don't think that's necessarily taken away from this. I don't think we're losing that. I think it's just, it becomes what episode 2 is all about.
I hope they can't see me here.
We go with the idea that you have to answer it, or let the children have to answer this in order to come see him. Right. It makes sense for this to be the stairway to heaven, right, which goes up to his office.
Correct.
If it's going to be to the pyramid room, then it would be more like a pass-through recovery.
Yeah, see, that makes a lot of sense. Sorry, one thing that kind of bothers me about the quiz about the Overseer is that Hope would know all those answers, because she probably knows all that. She's been trained and taught all those kinds of things. Oh, I don't want to overthink it, but don't you think that's kind of weird? Like, she's been through that museum before, right? We have to assume.
Yeah, but maybe it's not just like super obvious stuff. Maybe there's more details about certain things that's why, like, originally when I thought it was POI, I thought like you were scanning like important like details about these objects that weren't necessarily like, if there's speaker boxes in the museum, then yeah, it's a little more like, okay, everyone should know these. But if there's scannable POI, then it's something that like Hope might not know. It's something like only you might be privy to because you're like hacking it or scanning it. But then it goes more towards a security thing and not something that children would know. To answer this question to go see him.
Yeah,
I think we could potentially put a POI in there that's like, you know, we've updated it to be more difficult. There are too many people like
harassing the overseer or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's a different thing that has some other facts, and we could even have Hope say something where it's like, oh, I didn't know that, you know, or something like that.
False prophet infiltrates Metamorphosis. Masquerading as Prizrak, man brings toxic agenda to our perfect garden. The man's name is Zager, I believe. Daniel Marcus Zager. Apparently he was some kind of journalist on the outside. If the Overseer was smart, he'd label this as an act of supreme jealousy. After all, ours is a nation so wonderful that people risk death to sneak inside. Maybe we should take the initiative and lead with this angle.
To get into the headmaster's office upstairs, we will need his PIN code. I don't have it in my files, but we can recover it. We'll need to answer some security questions first.
Headmaster, over here.
If it isn't my favorite journalist from the Morning Bell.
It was a brilliant speech, Headmaster.
Why, thank you, Miss Sade.
Please, call me Maddie. Perhaps you could tell your citizens a bit more about the arrival. As much as you can state publicly, of course.
Of course, well, in a matter of weeks, we will take our bow on the global stage. The arrival is our world debut, and once it comes to pass, there will be little doubt that though we are a small nation and few in number, we are a force to be reckoned with.
I'm sorry, I had a follow-up, but I just got lost in the power of your voice.
Why, Maddie, please, you embarrass me.
Now, where was I? Oh, right. Your cryptic answers, which I adore, I must add.
Thank you.
But they've left some to speculate that the arrival refers to our ascension as a nuclear power.
Ah, nuclear power. In the 21st century, nuclear power is a contradiction in terms. Let those dying republics split atoms to their heart's content. No, my dear Maddie, what our Republique achieved is something far more impressive. And the mark we leave on the world will last an eternity.
this, the museum is based around the writing of the manifesto, the first edition, right?
Yeah.
But his security questions wouldn't be exactly based on the manifesto and all the questions. It's more about him as a person, but you're gleaning this personal information based on this museum about him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, maybe he can like talk about it in one of like the pushies. Like I remember like as I was going through the hills of blah 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 in whatever country, like I remember like writing this chapter of whatever, and one of the questions can be like, where was chapter 2 of the manifesto written or something. Like,
okay. I mean, I think it's like the high level vision. At least what I'm understanding is I think for players to understand what we're trying to do thematically is like a lot of it's hacking and security and like identity theft and all that kind of stuff. Is that I think we should be thinking about more general questions that you can glean. The whole thing is like, how do people hack Sarah Palin's email address, right?
Okay. All right, that's fine.
Are you okay with that?
I mean, I'm fine. Yeah, I guess I didn't.
Social engineering.
That wasn't really clicking with me.
How about what's your favorite food? We can tie it into the food that he didn't like that they kept giving him.
Yeah, you keep saying, I wish it was a blah blah blah, right? That's a great idea.
Could we make the pin code that we end up getting from this also be 1, 2, 3, 4? That's the pin code that we've got for getting out of the interrogation room.
Alright, I want to put that as a side note.
Or 8, 0,
I do want to do the 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they're like I'm not sure about the interrogation because I think people would laugh, but in a bad way.
Yeah.
But I want them to laugh in a good way because there was an article about how government agencies, oftentimes like their passwords and like really sensitive things where ABC123 was the highest, like most popular one, and like 1, 2, 3, 4 was like.
So maybe the headmasters is just 1, 2, 3, 1. Interrogation room something actually like intelligent.
Somewhat, yeah.
Can you hack this open?
What the?
Help! You picked a good place. I hope they can't... see me here.
Leaving so soon. How may I help you now? Sorry to see you go.
No sign of the pre-cal.
Better raise the threat level. Threat level is back to normal.
Situation is clear. Place is quiet. What do you got? Nothing going.
I hope they can't see me here.
Another quiet night. Check it. Huh?
I hope they can't see me here.
You can't hide from us.
No sign of the girl.
This hiding place looks good. You picked a good place. I hope they can't see me here.
What was meant as a warning to Perzrak to be on the lookout for hiding precals is actually a good suggestion for the girl. Ducking behind the plant is a great way to escape detection.
What's yours is mine. Good idea. My battery was getting low. Good idea. We can recharge here. Look, pepper spray. They won't find me here.
Remind the girl to walk slowly. Hurried footsteps will attract the attention of the Perzrak.
Battle your wares. Come back anytime.
Found a cassette.
my adopted Japan, I decided to advance my study of genetics in America. And I couldn't have arrived at a more auspicious time.
Have a quiet night.
The Zager cassette.
Everything looks good.
Don't make me call you.
I've got my post secure.
I'll check his pockets. I got something.
NTR.
I found some pepper spray. Okay, vent. We'll need a screwdriver to open this vent.
Everything looks good. Everything looks good.
Hello, Librarian.
Good evening, Overseer.
Around the precals, I must insist you address me as headmaster.
Oh, my apologies, sir.
What did you think of my lecture? You may speak freely.
Well, you most certainly have a passion for what you teach. It was most inspiring.
Your eyes and your words don't seem to align. Now, I asked that you speak freely. It's okay. No harm in speaking your mind to me. I will respect your honesty. In fact, I demand nothing less.
Well, then, sir, to be blunt, it felt more like a sermon than a lecture tonight.
Do you take issue with that?
Again, speak freely. Well, sir, I have never been a part of an academy quite like this one. The pre-cals, well, they seem to study only one subject here.
What subject is that?
Well, sir, you.
Reporting.
I'll hold on to this. You found me a good spot.
Battle your wares. Spot press back through walls. Leaving so soon.
A PIN code is required to get up to the Overseer's office. May I suggest gleaning some personal information about him in his museum next door? It might come in handy when answering any security questions.
good idea. My battery was getting low. Can you hack this open?
Having tripped over every pesky regulation in my adopted Japan, I decided to advance my study of genetics in America. And I couldn't have arrived at a more auspicious time in history. Within a year, they had put a man on the moon. If freedom of movement is one of the fundamental rights of man, then a prison train, such as this was, provided an ingenious loophole for my scheming captors. They slapped a fresh coat of paint on its rotting sides, and even went so far as to give it a rugged and exciting-sounding name, the Siberian Express.
I think this is a replica of the train.
My rations of stale bread and moldy cheese seemed especially cruel as our prison train crossed the Kama River into the foothills of the Ural Mountains. There, we passed one bucolic farm after another, every field dotted with plump Russian black-pied cattle. Never in my life have I felt so bereft. I would have committed the most heinous of crimes to have tasted the rich, salty goodness of their flesh.
My master was held prisoner on.
If the food was bad, the water was worse. Discolored to the point that someone must have dyed it on purpose, and the taste could only be described as septic. Were it not for my robust constitution, I would have succumbed years ago to dementia from all the lead and other heavy metals in that toxic swill. They forged me a pair of cold, gray leg irons to match the color of my eyes. A decidedly rare trait I believe I inherited from my idle mother.
This spot looks good. I hope they can't see me here. We need a PIN code.
I think I saw something.
Good idea. My battery was running low. We should stay closer to each other. It's too far away. That's out of range. Good thinking. You found me a good spot. I hope they can't see me.
Clear.
Thanks. You found me a good spot. I'll hold on to this. This spot looks good. I hope they can't see me here. We should stay closer to each other. I hope they can't see me here.
That's strange.
Going in to pick his pockets.
What the?
He's got me. All right. Good thinking. I hope hope they can't see me here.
Bring up the threat level.
This spot looks good.
Over there.
I hope they can't see me here.
Can't hide from us.
Threat level is returning to normal.
Second report. What do you got?
You found me a good spot. I hope they can't see me here.
All's quiet here.
I've been this way before. We're getting closer to the headmaster's office. I'll take this.
Why, Librarian, you look like you've seen a ghost.
I see many ghosts on these walls. Why would you take pictures with monsters, and worse, display them proudly?
I have sat for pictures with many important people, even people I find disagreeable.
I suspect you mean me. How could you stand beside this man here?
Not a fan of the Generalissimo, are we?
I crossed an ocean to escape Franco's brutality, only to find his brand of fascism had been imported to Argentina.
Well, I can't speak to that, but I will say I found our meeting. He was an excellent conversationalist, and his taste in wine, impeccable.
Another quiet night.
picked a good place. I hope they can't see me here.
All's quiet here.
Let's see what he's got on him. This spot looks good. I hope they can't see me here.
I've got my post secure. Quiet tonight.
Going in for the steal.
Checking in. Quiet tonight.
I'll check his pockets. Nice. You found me a good spot.
All's quiet here.
I hope they can't see me here.
Huh? What's that?
A cassette. idea. We can recharge here. Pepper spray here. Nothing. They won't find me in here.
If the battery on the girl's phone runs low, she need only find her way to a confinement room. Ideally, she'll visit them on her own free will, and not with a Prizrak escort.
Back to peddle your wares. Come back anytime.
Once you enter Cocoon, essentially the player starts off being enticed by wanting to get up to the Librarian because something could have happened, right? And the player can go up to the Librarians or can go up to the Overseers. So what I would propose instead is, this is for a little bit of a narrative reason, but also mostly for a pacing reason. I would say let's actually cut out player choice of this level and the openness aspect. I was very much a big supporter and liker of the player kind of having like space to explore and go and feel, but I partly don't think we actually support that well enough, like in terms of like what our game is and sort of what you get by going and having options to go into areas that you can't like really solve. You know, you're just really going and messing around in an area that you can't do anything with, or it's out of order. So I think the Librarian being injured is actually probably like the biggest thing that the player wants to, you know, that's like the pull of this whole level. And so to me, it always felt like really awful to just go and immediately solve that, and that the pull of the level is the key. And I know that the key lets you out, but in a way, in the last episode, we just had the getting you out, letting you out thing, right? And that was episode 1.
So what we do is we start up episode 2 with Hope saying, okay, now we can see the Librarian, right? And I actually am kind of siding with what Brent is saying.
Station 17, this is Madame Prideaux.
The climb gives most players a shot at high-altitude glory, as opposed to me climbing in real life.
Y390H. I see you're admiring our...
I have located the demon server. It's through the double doors. I have located the demon server. It's through the double doors.
To battle your wares. Leaving so soon.
While the 20s roared in America, they screamed like a Siberian windstorm in Vladimir's hometown of Simbirsk. A controversial man of the people, he was surely. And the fact that he spent time in political exile makes him that much more admirable, in my estimation. Plato's keen eyes peered further into the future than any of his Grecian contemporaries. He was, and will remain, the most vocal supporter of the classic Republic, and its earliest. The father of Europe was besieged from all sides by pagan tyranny. And then in the year 800, he did a most remarkable thing. He held the hands of secularism and religion and married them together in what would later be called the Renaissance. It is difficult to write a story as it unfolds, but to wait until it's finished is to risk butchering the telling of it. I would rather strain the wrists of those taking my dictation than cause even a modicum of butchery. Her death in 1952 was a tragedy, not just for the Argentine shirtless who idolized her, but for the anti-Peronists who celebrated her demise. Christ had a similarly divided populace to contend with, and like Eva, succumbed to sacrifice at the age of 33. A personal favorite. For those who would criticize him for his monopolistic tendencies in the early 20th century, I say, shout it from the rooftops, or, barring that, hop online and voice your disdain in a chat forum. He would appreciate the irony. His detractors would call him an opportunist, and they would be right. But Yataro Iwasaki was given nothing less than the modest opportunity to bring an entire nation into the modern age, and he succeeded. The nerve of him. We owe a debt of gratitude to those giants whose shoulders we've stood upon. The earlier they lived, the larger their stature, and so the greater our debt.
No sign of the pre-cal.
Where did you go?
What do you got?
I hope they can't see me here. Good thinking.
Huh?
Oh no. Prizrak. She sees me.
I can't see!
He's already been hit. This spot looks good. I should be safe here.
To battle your wares. Sorry to see you go.
Good idea. My battery was getting low. Good thinking. They won't find me anymore.
Nothing. Another quiet night. I've got my post secure.
I don't want to get too far ahead of you. Good idea. My battery was running low. This hiding place looks good. I hope they can't see me here. I hope they can't see me here.
Another quiet night. Nothing going. Clear.
What do you got? What the
help? Thanks. You found me a good spot.
Settle your wares. Leaving so soon.
I should be safe here.
Increase the threat level.
Arming taser.
Threat level normal.
Statue didn't move. What happened? wrong?
Plato's keen eyes peered further into the future than any of his Grecian contemporaries. He was, and will remain, the most vocal supporter of the classic Republic, and its earliest.
A new statue. We have to start over. It worked. What's next? That didn't work. A new statue lit up. They aren't lit up anymore. We have to start over. Statue lit up. I think we did something right. It worked. What's next? Statue lights went off. Statue lit up. I think we did something right. It worked. What's next? A new statue lit up. All the statue lights went off. We must have picked the wrong one. It worked. Let's try the next one. The statue lit up. I think we did something right. That worked. Let's try the next one. The statue lights went off. It worked. What's next? The statue lit up. I think we did something right. A new statue lit up. It worked. What's next? A new statue lit up. You've solved it. You're a natural at puzzles. Another giant pyramid. No. I don't think so. Locked. Let's find a way to open it. Master's office. I remember being here as a young girl. At least I think I was. Someone's coming. What do I do?
Unqualified disaster. And on the eve of the arrival, no less.
Everything is fine, sir.
Fine? You were assaulted by a Prizrak. And you let altered copies of the manifesto reach the
I
church.
have the situation under control.
I'm beginning to think your definition of control is different than mine. They don't respect you because you don't wear the uniform. It's a weakness. It puts you at risk. This is an historic night for us. There can be no room for error.
I understand.
Then you understand why Derringer will lead the arrival.
What?
I'm sorry, my dear. We all appreciate the fine work you do with the kids. But you lost sight of what's most important. Protecting me.
Sir, I can lead the arrival.
Murray, you speak the language of diplomacy. Derringer speaks the truth. Truth hurts. This isn't a dismissal. Derringer will still need your help when we get reset.
Yes, sir. The mentor is an asset to our cause. I look forward to hearing her ideas going forward.
Watch your step.
She's weak.
I hope that's all it is. Where was Murray when the Prizrak attacked her?
The section, outside the library. I'll look into it.
It's hard to know who to trust these days. It seems we're running a loyalty deficit around here. I don't mean you, Quinn, of course. I know I can trust you. Wait. I never forgot this before. Must be old age.
No chance, sir. You just got a lot on your mind tonight.
Quite so. Come, young man, let's get to the surface. Librarian, may I come in?
Ah, Headmaster, welcome. Ay, Dios mío, who is this fierce creature?
It's an Ainu owl, Librarian. My ancestors carved these from the amber trunks of Japanese spindle trees. I want you to have this one. Modest housewarming gift, nothing more.
Well, muchas gracias, señor. It's a handsome piece. I shall place it here on this shelf.
No. Lend it a bit more prominence. It's meant to be set out in the open.
Ah.
This way it can bring you luck.
Well, it's...
The eyes. Yes. They are a touch piercing. But that's the idea, you see. The owl is ever watchful. He will protect you day and night.
Ah, yes, well, it's truly, how can I...
Oh, you're welcome.
Quartermaster faces swift reprimand. Mireille Prideaux found with contraband. Overseer, none of us are above the law.
You just acquired a fingerprint from that glass. Normally, the Overseer wouldn't be so careless as to leave a usable print. But recently, in celebration of Zager's capture, the big man poured himself a stiff drink, and for a moment, let his guard down. Those pristine white gloves came off, and he was one of us for a day.
Gentlemen, I wish to resign. This is grossly inappropriate.
Inappropriate?
You are burning books. I have seen it with my own eyes. The books I procured for you.
Each book has been scanned into our servers and is now part of our digital catalog. You're merely hung up on nostalgia.
You are erasing history.
These books are my property now. I can do with them as I please.
No. I cannot be a party to this. I wish to leave immediately.
First you want to resign, now you want to leave?
I assume the implication was apparent.
You're not going anywhere.
You cannot keep me here against my will.
In fact, I can. You, like the books, are now property of the state. You will continue to fulfill your obligations to the pre-cals until I decide what to do with you.
I have a few suggestions, sir.
Welcome back to Washington. How's the weather in your corner of the world?
What if I tell you, are you going to try to guess my location?
No, I've about given up on that. It's been insufferably hot in D.C.
Then why are we meeting here?
I'm sorry?
Why not do this on the
isn't built yet.
What? I was told construction began a month after the attack.
This is the U.S. government you're talking about. Maybe you've heard of us. Our contractors get paid twice as much to take twice as long.
Unbelievable.
Right this way, sir. Watch your step.
Please, sit. Coffee? I want a whistleblower.
Coffee?
I'm serious.
We can talk about that.
We're going to have to talk about that. If you want to hand the reins to someone who won't let the horse forget who's in charge.
I'm afraid I don't follow you.
That's your problem. You've got too many leaders and not enough followers. You should be following me. All of you should.
Okay, let's table that for a second. Say we get you a plant, and this plant blows his whistle in the year.
Or 2 months.
Or whenever. They're still not about to dismantle their entire surveillance infrastructure over some bad press.
I'm afraid you're right. This is where I need your help, Vice Admiral. If you get me on board and in command, then it won't matter how red their faces turn, or if they turn red at all. They won't have to privatize under pressure either. I'll already hold the reins. But we'll give it a name. Carnival. The Arrival. It doesn't matter. And we'll play act our way into the driver's seat.
I can't even imagine.
Leave imagination to me.
The door's locked. I can't go any further. Nope. I don't think it's safe. It's locked. I'm stuck. The door's locked. I can't go any further.
You now have what you need to access the librarian's office. I know the girl is anxious to find him.
This spot looks
Everything
good.
looks good.
You found me a good spot. They won't find me in here.
That's strange.
Does anybody know about this phenomenon called like ASMR?
Yes.
Oh, how would you describe it?
It's basically people recording videos of themselves speaking or doing things as softly as possible. And so like they'll do things like they'll whisper super, and like there will be videos of people that will they'll film themselves like they're brushing their hair or something. Yeah, and they'll be like, it's exactly like
It's basically that. But you don't have to say anything like overtly sexual or anything. It's like you could like whisper it, and people have like this weird sensation. So the idea is because, hey, listen to me. I am. You're not listening to me. You're making me feel weird. Because episode 2 is based in this library. We thought maybe her voice is a little more hushed and whispered.
That's kind of cool.
And so one of the guys on the team feels that our first trailer, what we did like 2 years ago, where she's more whispered, was a lot more like interesting or like stimulating to him. And then when she was speaking in a normal voice, like he felt like he lost that.
So it's more intimate almost.
So we don't want to go too crazy with it. And there's parts where she doesn't care how loud she is, right?
When she's sneaking around, she should whisper.
Yeah.
I think it works best, honestly, for when we do the face square stuff, because then she's looking into camera and it's really intimate.
So we want to try it, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
I like it.
All right.
Is this like an internet fetish? Is this how we're selling episode 2?
No, it's not supposed to be a fetish in our game. Basically, just that's how quietly you need to speak when you're in the library or places like that.
Okay. What's the fetish called again so I can write it down?
Sounds good.
NTR.
They won't find me in here. I hope they can't see me here.
Nothing. No sign of the girl.
Let's see what he's carrying. Got it. This spot looks good. I hope they can't see. Me here. You picked a good place. They won't find me.
Over there. That's strange. Check in. Sounds good.
I'll check his pockets. Got it. They won't find me in here. Taser in hand. That could have been bad. I found some pepper spray. They won't find me in here.
The overseer runs this library like a wild animal preserve. Look, but don't touch.
I'll hold on to this. Good thinking. They won't find me in here.
Nothing going. No sign of the pre-cal.
Arming taser.
What do you got?
Let go!
The girl must be extra careful around here. Some of my fellow Prizrak are wearing arc suits. It's protective armor that can withstand a direct taser attack. These guys are trigger happy and won't hesitate to attack the girl if they get the chance. Worst of all, their patrols are unreliable, meaning they could show up anywhere at any time. Probably best to keep the girl hidden if you spot a Prizrak in an arc suit.
Check in.
Good idea. My battery... It was getting low.
Bring up the threat level.
All right. Good thinking. I hope they can't see me here.
Threat level is returning to normal.
Well, my big thing, aside from lighting, is trying to figure out a solution to the cocoon's performance issue, because we have nothing really in there, especially with like POI and all that stuff, and it's already bad, in my opinion. So it's only going to get worse. So I was going to spend pretty much the majority of this milestone trying to come up with a solution to that, if there is one. But yeah, the rest of the guys are just going to be focusing on art, and they're going to do metamorphosis, and then ideally all the design stuff will get migrated over, and then we can just do the final pass.
So what are you thinking you're going to do about the performance problems? Are you working?
I'm going to have to try to break up the cocoon into smaller chunks. I'm going to try to use Umbra, see if that gives us any kind of win. And pretty much if those two things fail, then we just have to start aggressively cutting stuff from cocoon.
Like the cocoon.
Yeah.
But that's the coolest looking thing in there. It's like a bikini.
So yeah, the unfortunate thing to all this is, like episode 2 was our vertical slice, and we never got to perform on iPhone 4.
If there's any kind of assistance that the Umbra guys can offer, I could probably hook that up.
Yeah,
Just let me know.
I'll let you know. I should have a reasonable idea of like what state it is in and how screwed we are or not screwed by Thursday.
I hope this isn't true, but I feel like we're going to run into some problems, and it's better to know about them sooner rather than later so we can come up with creative solutions.
And Darcy and I have talked about this in terms of QA resources, the demand on testing in every department, but particularly QA gets larger because you have to make sure not it's just the new episode, but how it relates to the other ones. So we're cool right now, but kind of looking at that in the near future.
Nothing to report. Situation is clear.
Zero here.
Nothing going.
They picked a good place. I hope they can't see me here.
Reporting. Everything looks good.
He's just up these stairs. Librarian! Librarian! Senor Octavo? Librarian! Oh no! You're making it up! Stop it. Stop it. It's okay.
Hola. Who's there? Senor Octavo.
I shouldn't watch this.
The girl activated a video that appears to have been recorded only moments ago. I presume it relates to the dead librarian. It's important that we determine what happened. However, she's not accustomed to witnessing violence. It's difficult to anticipate how it will affect her.
Senor Octavo. Just the man I want to see.
Hello, Derringer. To what do I owe this pleasure?
Good book.
It is a classic.
Not just a classic. I mean, it's actually good.
How can I help you?
Why does this guy, Edmond Dantes?
Dante.
Dante, right. Why does this guy tell Maximilian that his girl is dead?
For revenge.
No, Maximilian's his friend.
Yes, you are. You're right, of course.
Damn it, man. You have read this, haven't you?
Of course, yes. I meant it has been a while.
Why does Dantes put his friend through so much misery?
I think the point is to teach a lesson. You cannot know happiness unless you have been exposed to tragedy.
Can't know hope without despair.
I believe that is it, yes.
Kind of like the pre-cows. They don't know up from down, good from bad. They got no perspective because they don't have a clue about the outside. Or do they?
This is an intriguing intellectual exercise, Derringer, but it is late and
Why'd you give the kids the Poison Manifesto?
I did not.
What do you do in that hidden room downstairs?
What room?
Think we can't hear that god-awful music bleeding through the walls?
I just read and...
Reading Sega's trash!
I have seen it, yes, but I would never act on it.
I am against us. No, you were planning to help the children escape. No, Derringer,
What happened?
She has to know that, like, what this video means. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how much. I have a feeling we can just get away with it pretty
She's
without
like,
explaining.
oh no, I
Yeah.
know what this
Yeah.
is. I don't want to watch
And
this.
because you don't know what she's seeing,
Mhm.
and we don't activate the POI until she's done that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You know, and so you can almost see the reflection on her.
Mhm.
She's like, "Oh no, I know what this is," and she turns it off, right?
Okay.
And then it becomes a scannable POI if you want to choose it. The only problem with this, like 100%, is that it does. People might scan it just to have it.
I would actually wouldn't cancel
But
this
no,
POI.
but the players wouldn't know.
You have to physically make her, tell her, use this computer.
Well, I believe that, like, since we're not forcing the player to watch what I think is a very pivotal and important, like, story beat.
Yeah.
You know, since we're giving them that option, we should at least force the option. Meaning, like she should turn it on, or something. You know, as opposed to, like, what if, like, they never even tap on it and they don't even know that, like, it was like this choice that they had to make or whatever. I mean, then they just wouldn't watch it at all. I want to at least tease the idea that, like, there is something important here, even if you don't have to watch it.
Yeah, I agree. I think we could probably sell it in a way that isn't weird for players. That she knows. She's like, I think I know what this is for sure.
Yeah, I think she could just see Derringer's face on the screen and go like, Derringer did this, didn't he? Like,
it gets back to the question of, like, what's the mechanic? Like, what activates this thing? Because I'm kind of in the fence about if it's a scannable POI. Yeah. Because on the other hand, 100%. Because there's gonna be other moments, like episode 3, where you're gonna scan some personal information of hers. We've talked about. You have, in order to get 100%, you have to do that. You have to kind of be Big Brother. Isn't that kind of part of what we're saying?
Senor Octavo?
Un momento. Buenos días.
You Senor Octavo?
Sí, I am Luis Octavo, yes.
My name's Quinn Derringer. My employer contacted you.
Yes, of course. The mystery man who pays me twice what I ask. Did he receive the books yet?
He did. And he thanks you. He'd like to thank you personally.
Of course. Tell him to come in at any time.
He's not in Buenos Aires. Is your passport in order?
My passport? What is this about?
My employer has some more work for you.
Mystery man? What sort of work?
That's the mystery.
Well, where would I go? Oh, impossible. I cannot close my shop.
My employer thinks you can. He'll pay whatever you ask.
He doesn't even know my price.
But he knows you have one. You got a number in your head, senor?
I do.
Good. Double it. Where's your passport at?
Oh, no. Wait a minute. How long will I be gone?
Just a few days. I promise.
I'm a little relieved you chose not to show that video to the girl. Still, it feels a bit like censorship, keeping it from her.
I'll be taking this. pepper spray here.
Huh? On my way to apprehend the subject. Check in.
Raise the threat level.
Get your hands off me! All right. Good thinking. Good idea. We can recharge here. This spot looks good.
Threat level normal. Proceed with caution.
What do you got? Bridge rack checking in. Got my post secure. Check in. Place is quiet.
Music's coming from.
No sign of the weekend. Situation is clear. Place is quiet. NPR.
Music. It's coming from behind.
Heading away now. Left-sided subject.
All right. Good thinking.
Nothing.
Good thinking. I hope they can't see me here.
Nothing.
You can. Taser. Good idea. My battery was getting low.
sell your wares. Sorry to see you go.
Good idea. My battery was running low.
Sign of the pre-cal. I've got my post secure.
I hope they can't see me here.
No sign of the girl. What do you got? What's going on?
There's a blueprint on the table in this secret room. Have the girl pick it up. I'm confident it will be of use to her at some point.
Here. No.
What's yours is mine.
Situation is clear. Your report.
A blueprint of the Overseer's master key. The librarian suggested this key is required to escape from the facility. I know of a 3D printer located in archives. With this blueprint, the girl can manufacture a key.
in.
All's quiet here. Heading away now.
I hope they can't see me here.
Lost sight of the subject.
This hiding place looks good.
It's quiet tonight. Situation's clear.
I hope they can't see me here.
NPR.
This is...
Good idea. My battery was getting low. Thanks. You found me a good spot. I hope they can't see me here.
I've got my post secure.
This spot looks good. I hope they can't see me here. All right. Good thinking. They won't find me in here.
So I'm okay with people going through the laser puzzle if they don't have a blueprint, and they get to a door. There's no payoff to like you're saying. It's like, okay, here's a random room with like a 3D printer, and I don't even know why I even need to be in this room. I don't even know what this thing's for.
Yeah.
And I know it's not like super elegant, but I think we can come up with like a decent solution for this, allowing players to even enter the 3D print room and loading that whole scene, realizing they don't have what this thing needs, and then having to load another scene to go back. And either Hope can say it or Cooper can say, you know, entering this room requires a blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think gating a door with a blueprint is really dumb. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's really silly.
I am still concerned, like, how do you ever get back on track when you get there? Like, is Cooper, like, if you called into the help desk, would the last thing Cooper would tell you to be looking for is like a secret room on the first floor?
Yeah.
Okay. Look for the music. Look for the music, yeah.
Or maybe listen for the music.
Yeah, listen.
I mean,
Cooper is like, no,
smell for the music.
Cooper is not great with words.
No.
He's not very poetic.
You're saying I'm not great with words.
Wait, no, I'm Cooper.
Oh, that's right. You're Cooper.
I'm Cooper.
Okay.
Hey, dog, are you Cooper?
I'm Cooper.
Are you okay?
You know, I'm just trying to like.
You got this? I want you to feel good about this, man. This is your game.
Allergies, huh?
Yeah.
You gonna be okay down in LA?
I'll be fine.
Unless it's like the smog that'll make you tear up, like you don't have to worry about.
It's
Like, nature's not going to screw up
Yeah.
your sinuses. Don't worry down there. Because there is none.
See what's inside. I found a taser.
So the purpose of this is what? Like, what is the overseer and like the guys at Metamorphosis? What are they using this space for? Because we're gonna have a 3D printer.
Yeah.
Initially, I'm thinking maybe it makes sense that this is like where they print the manifestos. But
Yeah.
we've explored that idea before. Maybe we didn't want to do that. I can't remember.
No, I like that idea. In fact, I was thinking like you had like the file for like the poison manifestos. Maybe like you got them from like Zager's Dark Room
Oh,
or
right,
whatever,
right.
and you plug that USB in there, and it starts printing out the doctored manifestos. You know, that they're trying to like collect. You're printing out more of them.
We might not be able to do a puzzle based on that, but we probably should have some kind of hint that this is what Zager used to get Dr. Manifestos to people. So remnants of Zager should be the POIs.
Can we think of anything specific, or are we just gonna leave it high level right now?
No, I think we should think of some specific.
Yeah. Maybe one of the Zager tapes can like appear if you.
But it's not a POI though. I mean, it's a good. I'll take a note of that. Like that's good. Zager tape. And maybe we have one POI on the conveyor belt and a Zager tape on the conveyor belt.
Oh, that's cool.
Pretty cool. Maybe it could just be like a Cooper POI, and you'll be like, oh, these are like the conveyor belts, blah 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 blah. You know, they were shut down after like it was suspected Zager used it to produce the manifesto.
Perfect opportunity for an angry voicemail from Derringer, like someone like a phone on the wall, like, how did you guys let this guy get through?
Okay.
I'll hold on to this.
I was also saying, like, bonus points for the TY that we have in this space is to kind of explain why they have a 3D printer to begin with.
Yeah.
Let's say they are self-contained and they're on lockdown. If you want to get new parts and stuff like that, and you gotta like build them in there, you can't go out to the store and buy like a weed whacker for the garden. You have to like build one.
Right.
So it all kind of makes sense that
that
they are making that. I think this 3D printer thing is kind of like, it's a bigger deal than just to print out the random gun or print out the master key. It's like something they use
for subsistence.
Yeah.
What would we want to explain that as? Like, what would that be?
I mean, one way to tie it in is basically in the Derringer email or voicemail. He's like, I want you guys to sweep for clues or prints. And he's like, I also want you to make sure that nobody touched that 3D printer because we need that for blah blah blah.
Right. Yeah, that's the most important contraption in this whole place.
So that would be another email you're saying, or
we
maybe
can just include that in the voicemail.
Or in the voicemail?
Yeah, like it could be voicemail or email. I don't really care. But it's basically, how did you let Zager get into here to make these poison manifestos? And one of you dummies have got to go check and make sure you didn't disrupt the 3D printer.
Those 4 generators, do we want to try and connect those to the 3D printer? Like one has liquid metals, one has like liquid plastics, one has, that they make all different types of things.
Yeah.
Kind of like an earth, wind, fire, water thing. We got these 4 like different elements.
That's a cool idea.
In order to make the master key, we need to make sure that they're using the right material.
That's a cool idea.
I wonder if this is what the blueprint's for.
And I feel like the only way we're getting a player through these extra steps of the temperature and the materials is through just like a lot of hand-holding and tutorialization, and I think it's a dilution of the puzzle, and that I just think adding these other two things and having this all contained as a puzzle is honestly, I don't think it's intuitive for them to like be putting this together and then taking that and going and doing this and going and doing that. I feel like the larger crowd isn't going to get through that puzzle. I don't agree that it's not an interesting or fun puzzle, but
isn't that essentially what the room is? If what you're saying is, well, at the end of the day, we're going to have to really heavily tutorialize this thing, then what's the point? Isn't that what you're saying?
Yeah, a little bit.
But like, then what's the point of doing any of these puzzles?
Because the other ones I don't think are as heavily tutorialized. Like,
but how is, I guess I don't understand like how like the temperature thing would have to be highly tutorialized. Would you say that the statue puzzle is more difficult, or the same, or harder than the temperature side?
I guess they're just different things. Here's what it is. It's a different thing than the rest of the experience. In some sense, like the quiz is too, but that's familiar enough that we don't have to really explain that to players. Going around and doing the statues is a little bit of a variation on the first puzzle, but it's also using mechanics the players somewhat familiar with. And that's why kind of even Coetzee thing alone is kind of like, a player could spend 15 minutes on that. I don't think we're gonna have any problems like reaching that number on Coetzee's puzzle alone.
Going on what Brent said, like, in contrast to our quiz and our statue puzzle, which, you know, are basically, it's one mechanic, it's one gimmick, sorry to say that. But this puzzle is basically 3 puzzles in one, and each puzzle has its own player, is gonna have its own player round, and therefore it's gonna have its own like tutorial curve that we're gonna need to hit.
This was awesome. Did you hear
No.
anything about what we're doing?
Good.
No.
Only what I saw in your very large puzzle spec cup.
Actually, coming out of that meeting, I think even Darcy like left that meeting and be like, oh, like it's just gonna be like an NGUI puzzle. Awesome. All right, like.
You just been building all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this guy Kostya from the Ukraine, he emailed me back and I was like, conversation. He's going to deliver his new prototype of it by next. He said by next Wednesday, but I gave him until next Friday. Just so I said we're gonna present it in front of the team at the kickoff. Awesome. And so we're gonna have a design sync with him next Friday. So he's got a week. So great. And then I asked him if by the end of M2, which is Valentine's Day, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. If he could have like a near final ready for playtest, and he said sure. I mean, he's just basing this off of his own code.
The rest is also on us though to have like probably like Greg get connected with him and figure out how to do the plugs for our game.
Yes, there are significant, or not, I wouldn't say significant, but there are tasks that need to be done. For example, making sure, because this can be a separate scene in Unity, it's going to load a separate scene, so we have to make sure that what is happening here gets saved into the save profile. Yeah. Save load has to happen, and then...
I'm not worried about that, because Vince has a lot of experience with like small
Vince was in that meeting, and he was like, I'm not so worried about that one.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Because you saw the game, it's got like this architect's house type of aesthetic. We want to swap that in for something that's more Republic, and we're going to have to deliver that to him. So he's going to give us his source files for his game, and we're just going to paint over it so he has the same resolution, everything, aspect ratio.
Is he delivering next week like a standalone thing?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just kind of curious, like, from what you think, Doug. Would you want to go down the path of yours, or would you want to go down the path of use case, or would you want to try to do both?
I mean, that's the thing is like Sam was saying, like I think it's a really good puzzle. At the same time, it sucks now we have 2 like pretty good puzzles I feel like designed,
and we're kind of like almost talking about chopping one now, whereas like we should try to like use both of them. I don't know how we would use both of them as a thing right now.
I think one challenge we had is when I was describing this thing to Yusuke, he was like, "Yeah, I get it. I don't think it's that cool." I was like, "Well, then make it cool, right?" and he's like, "Okay, is that okay?" I was like, "Yeah, that's why we're hiring you, dude." But then I thought he was going to take this and make some modifications to it, and he comes back with something completely different, which is fine. And I think that's part of the creative process. But I could tell is where his passion is.
Yeah.
You know, with his other thing, which again, I'm fine with it, but I want to make sure you feel okay with it.
I mean, I'm fine with it. I just think it's a shame if in the end we end up scrapping one of the two puzzles rather than trying to find a way to keep both of them. Okay.
Can we release this separately as like a larger, broader, like free-to-play app?
That's what I'm saying. Make all the money.
Is there a way to turn it back on? All right. This key's identical to the one the headmaster used in his office. Let's go there now.
The girl has the key. Let's head back to the overseer. Let's get her to the surface. Head back to the overseer's office.
I'll hold on to this. They won't find me in here. Derringer and the headmaster went this way to the surface.
It's been a long time since I allowed someone to speak to me this way, Librarian. I will not shy away from telling you what I see. You are the dark ruler of this world, Overseer. This isn't a world, yet. Merely a small corner of it. And the darkness you perceive persists only because you refuse to open your eyes. Now, if you will excuse me, I must tend to more pressing matters in the terminus. You don't have access to this part of the complex, so I will bid you farewell. Unless... would you care to see what we've been working on? Not in the least. It is unreal to me. If I cannot hold it in my hands and smell the history in its pages, it is not there. I don't know what you do, and I don't care. But I do know fascism when I see it. I am well versed in the struggles against it. And I know that you will ultimately fail, as all fascists have failed. Watch your step. I will not. You must know this. You're nearly as old as me, but still so naive in the ways of the world. Control is illusory, Overseer. Your network, whatever you call it, I call it a trap. It will not catch everyone. And the ones who slip through it will regroup and stand against you someday. You think because of your fancy computers and your expensive surveillance that you can succeed with those who rose to power in the 20th century failed? You are naive. Control is a lie.
Control is the linchpin of a safe society. We fall apart without it. Now, as you can't seem to control your own emotions, Librarian, I'm confident you don't recognize a need for control in society. Good day, sir.
There's an elevator on the other side of the atrium. It's probably the girl's best chance for getting to the surface.
This hiding place looks good. I hope they can't see me here. It's locked. I'm stuck.
Hey guys.
Uh-oh. Hey.
Hey, can we kind of wrap this up so that we can get back to work?
Yeah. Dude, this is for a bug. This is solving a bug.
This
guys.
is a bug.
This is
DEFCON.
I promise. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is DEFCON.
Well, we still have other parts of the game that aren't
Yeah.
done. So.
It'll be done. We'll wrap it up.
All right. Cool.
All right. Well, on that note,
that's true. We can actually make the game.
Let's talk about the outro. Let's talk about the outro.
Can that be in the intro?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna put, that's like the perfect start of the
first
outro.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, guys. So episode 2.
Yeah.
Did you guys enjoy it? Tell us what you think on the internet, email, or other types of communication digitally. Use technology to give us your opinions about episode 2. We hope you enjoyed it, and we're really proud of what we did. And yeah, you can follow us on Friendster.
That was good. Can we like have some compressed air and make our voices all low? Oh God.
You can.
Hello.
Well, I'm not gonna try it, but you can do it.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
All right, Nate. It's time for you to wrap this puppy up.
But in all seriousness, we love to hear any kind of feedback you have, and we're looking forward to making the next episodes for you to try out, and we hope you are anxiously waiting them as well.
Very, very excited to start, dusting off episode 3, getting back. We're gonna get it ready for summer 2014.
All right.
That's
All right.
a big space start up.
Get excited. Jeremy's excited. That's cool.
On the main menu, it says summer.
Really?
For episode
It
3.
will.
So did our
We have to do
episode
it.
1, which came out December 19th. So.
Yeah, but this is like actually in the game. There's a whole there's a whole schedule now saying that episode 3 is gonna be summer.
Episode 5, this winter.
I'm not having a heart attack. I'm going to though.
That's what it says on the main menu.
All right, let's do it. Let's finish episode 2 first, guys.
Yeah. All right, cool. Bye. Later.
Love you.
Follow us
That's
on.
my thing. Come
Shut
on.
up,
You can't steal that. You can't steal that.
Sweet. How do I turn this?
How do you turn this thing
Turn it off.
An elevator. It must lead to the way out. So many buttons. The ninth floor. The top. The surface. No. Why are we stopping? Can you do something here?
I've been looking for you.
No!
Calm down. Calm down, or I'll have to tase you.
Help! Help!
Citizens of Metamorphosis. Words fail me tonight. I cannot rightfully describe the bleak, chasmal longing that echoes through my heart. Our beloved librarian, Senor Luis Octavo, has passed away. Derringer paid him a visit earlier this evening, hoping to discuss his exciting new role as cultural attaché. Instead, he found the Senor lying prone on his office floor, his heart failing. Ever valiant, Derringer sprang into action. He tried desperately to save the poor man. Sadly, it was too late. The librarian succumbed to the great unknown, cradled in Derringer's arms. But in a final act of appreciation, his words, I'm sorry. His last words, as he looked up at Derringer, were, "Thank you." As I'm sure has been reported, Senor Octavo and I did not always see eye to eye. Still, I made it a point to listen to his thoughtful and honest assessments of our fair Republique. He was especially critical of our prized surveillance infrastructure. I regret that I wasn't ever able to persuade him of its importance. I learned at an early age to never speak ill of the dead. I must hold my tongue now. But I will say this, for it pains me too greatly to keep it to myself.
Had our security been more robust, Luis Octavo would still be alive. A camera is an asset to our superior way of life. But what use is a camera without a good pair of eyes to monitor the feed? Had someone seen the librarian collapse, they could have reached him in time. I am confident the arrival will help improve security in the future, and thus assure us greater safety going forward. Thank you for listening. And good night, Librarian. We mourn your loss, but we celebrate your life with an equal passion.